It took white people to mistreat us. It took white people to exclude us before we would do something for ourselves. I need y'all to understand something. Because everywhere I go, black people say, Dr. Umar, why we don't have a Tulsa today? When we have 20 times more money now than we had then. No Tulsa, no Rosewood, no Charleston, even though you got 20 times the money. You know why? White racism gave birth to Tulsa. White racism gave birth to Wilmington because you couldn't live with them. You couldn't send your children to their schools. You couldn't stay at their hotels. You couldn't eat at the restaurant. Now, this is important because a lot of you say you didn't come from Africa. That's the new self-hate fad in the black community, right? But they had the Free African Society, a self-help movement exclusively for black people more than 100 years before Marcus Garvey. It came from the AME. I got another AME connection. The 7th bishop of the African Methodist Episcopal Church, Bishop Wayman, is my 4 times great-granduncle. My 3 times great-grandfather, George Washington Bailey, the cousin of Frederick Douglass and first black teacher in Denton, Maryland, married my grandmom, Annie Wayman, who's a niece of Bishop Alexander Wayman. So I have AME blood. I got one more connection. Bishop Henry McNeil Turner, who was called Marcus Garvey before Marcus Garvey, was an AME bishop. And it was my uncle, Bishop Wayman, who helped fight some of the AMEs because they thought Bishop Turner was too radical to be an AME bishop. Now, the AMEs are radical. So for them to feel that Bishop Turner was too radical, this is the black man who said God was black. Elijah Muhammad attended his school in Georgia. Marcus Garvey got that black God concept from Bishop Turner. Bishop Turner, one of the first black men elected to public office during Reconstruction. Bishop Turner, one of the first black leaders who had to travel with full-time security due to the amount of threats on his life. And Bishop Turner, who called the United States flag a stinking, dirty rag.
What's up, everybody? How are you doing? I hope you're doing great from whatever you're watching us from. As you know, this is presenter Gintech Stories, and I'm hoping that you're super okay. Now, in today's video, we're gonna be let me just get in the middle. In today's video, you're gonna be seeing something so important. This is a person that I actually don't host him a lot in my channel. Dr. Umar Johnson, his African name is Fatunde. For those who know him, he discusses important things that I feel like it's important for us to get to have a talk about this. And he says that the systems that were created in the United States was not meant to favor a black person. And this is true from inception, because they tried so much hard to hide the true history of black people from black people themselves. They made it and they weaponized the black people against themselves. It is sad that even today some black folks don't see each other as brothers, right? They just see each other, people that they want to fight with. And all these crazy things that are happening in the United States today is as a result of all this. And Dr. Umar Johnson is saying that black folks still don't get it. And why is he saying that black folks still don't get it? Because black folks are still dancing to what white folks created. And it is time that black people delineate themselves from all these systems that was put to make them be where they are today. I just watched this video. It is really, really important. It is going to talk about a broad perspective of black people, something usually that it is really important. And every black person has a right to know their true history, to know their lineage, to know really where they came from. And I'll just leave it at that. But I mean, I really want to know your take, your opinion in regards to this. Now, let's get into it. I'll be back and then we'll have a discussion in regards to this. As you know, these are presented Jintek Stories. For those who are watching me for the first time, I'll say thank you for, getting into the video. Like, share, subscribe so that people are like-minded like you can also get to have this information. For those who are coming back, I'll say thank you for always coming back and watching my videos. Like, share, subscribe. For those who are supporting me through my super thanks, I'm highly appreciative of what you're doing. For those who are sending me through my Cash App, I'm still appreciative for the service that you're giving me. Now let's watch the video. I'll be back and then we'll have a discussion.
So the AMEs got that history, brothers and sisters. And I need y'all to understand that for our first 200 years in America, for those of us who came on the ships, because I certainly did, we called ourselves Africans. The African Free School. All the churches was African. All the organizations was African. They didn't call themselves Native Americans. They didn't call themselves indigenous and aboriginals. They called themselves Africans. So brothers and sisters, I'm going to talk about 4 things tonight: education, economics, politics, and black love. Let's start with education because we got a lot of parents in here. I got 2 phone calls this week from black mothers whose black sons were expelled from school for threatening harm that they had no way of carrying out. One of them was a preschooler, and the other one was a 3rd grader. The preschooler told the teacher he was going to shoot her. He don't have no gun, can't even hold the gun. But because he's black and the teacher was white, for making a threat, he got expelled. The 3rd grader said he was going to blow up the school because he was angry. No gun, no access to one. Parents probably don't even own a gun, but because he made the verbal threat, he got expelled from school for the rest of his childhood. Oh, yes. Black preschool boys lead the nation. They're the fastest growing group of expelled children. I'm going to say that again. Black preschool boys, 3, 4, 5 years old, are the fastest growing expulsion population in America. So my first lesson, I want every parent to hear me. Mother, father, auntie, uncle, because we're all parents. In African culture, the children belong to the village, not the parents. The child comes through you. The child don't belong to you. I need us to get this because black people love to be private about their personal psychopathology. Black people love to be private about your personal psychopathology. What do you mean by that, Dr. Umar? I mean, if your daughter is a sex abuse survivor, you think you have a right to tell the neighborhood it's none of their business. If your son is out here robbing and killing for money, you think you have a right to tell the rest of the community it's none of their business. If you're keeping your children home, not sending them to school, and not even bothering to homeschool them, you think you have a right to tell the rest of us it's none of our business. It is all of our business. Why? Why is what goes on in your home important to everybody else in this auditorium? You know why? Because personal family problems become community crises. Did you hear what I just said? Personal family problems become community crises. Every brother in Baltimore right now, stealing and killing, his issues started in his house. And the parents decided to keep it a secret. But once those children turn 18, 19, and 20, it's no longer a personal family issue. It's a community crisis. And that's why we have an African proverb that says the destruction of a nation begins in the homes of its people. I'm going to tell y'all the solution right now. Whether we talking economics, family, spirituality, politics, education, the solution, we have to get back to the village. We haven't operated as a village in more than 150 years. The closest we were to a village, the last time we did it right, was the civil rights era, the Black Panther, Black Power era of yesterday. That's the closest. But you know what's wrong with that analogy? It's the same thing that was wrong with the Black Wall Street analogy. The Tulsa, the Rosewood, the Wilmington. I just got an invitation today to go to Wilmington, North Carolina, because they're about to memorialize their Black Wall Street being destroyed. But you know what's wrong with those analogies? It took white people to mistreat us. It took white people to exclude us before we would do something for ourselves. I need y'all to understand something. Because everywhere I go, black people say, Dr. Umar, why we don't have a Tulsa today? When we have 20 times more money now than we had then. No Tulsa, no Rosewood, no Charleston, even though you got 20 times the money. You know why? White racism gave birth to Tulsa. White racism gave birth to Wilmington because you couldn't live with them. You couldn't send your children to their schools. You couldn't stay at their hotels. You couldn't eat at the restaurant. Necessity is the mother of invention. We needed a place of our own, and so we made it. But the white man knew something about us. He said, as successful as they are, they still have, Negroes in America still have, 403 years later, a need for approval from their oppressor. I want you to follow me, Baltimore. Are y'all feeling me tonight? Make some noise. Is Baltimore in here tonight? Is Black Baltimore in here tonight? The African American, if there is a such thing, is unique in revolutionary history. And the reason you are unique in revolutionary history is you are the only oppressed group to fight to defend their oppressor, but never fought the oppressor to get free himself. You are the reason he won the American Revolution. You are the reason he won the Civil War. You are the reason he won the War of 1812. You are the reason he won the Spanish-American War. No matter how poorly he treated you, you still found it within your heart to value his freedom more than your own. And so the world doesn't understand the American African because the world says, aren't you people worth $2 trillion a year? I mean, don't you single-handedly make entire companies into billion-dollar industries? Black women, I love you to death, but $30 billion on hair, nails, and beauty products, I think is a bit too much. Black women spend more money on hair and beauty than all other women put together. How do we explain that? Why does the black woman overspend on physical beauty? I'll tell you why. And we all know the answer. Because for 4 centuries, you've been told you were the ugliest thing on earth. And you've been trying to prove to yourself that what the white man has said about you ain't true. Well, I got news for you, black sister. Beauty has nothing to do with what you look like in that mirror. Beauty has everything to do with what you feel like inside. Any person who needs another race to validate your beauty will forever think they're unattractive. I was in Miami the other night on an interview for a podcast, and one of my Jamaican sisters, she asked the question. She said, I don't understand. This is night before last. I don't understand why you so worried about the little girls who are going to come to your school, how their hair are done. I don't know why you worried about whether or not you're teachers, because I know a few sisters who might want to teach, but they're not going to wear that. And I told her, then they can't work here. This is a 100% nappy by nature institution. No weave, no perm, no European hair color, no straightening comb, no Indian hair, no horse hair, no dog hair. Only your hair. We are the first school in American history, and I'm proud to say it. We are the first school in American history, and I'm proud to say it. Yeah, we got African-centered charter schools, but none of them took the stand I'm taking. We got African-centered independent schools, but none of them took the stand that I'm taking. If your daughter can't come to class in the original image of the divine mother, if your daughter has to come to my school looking like anything other than what God made her to be, you need to find her another school building. Because the first thing I got to teach black girls at the Anna Douglas Amy Garvey Academy, the first thing I got to teach black girls is how to love themselves as they are. And how can a black woman be a teacher at the ADHD Academy of FDMG? How can a black woman be a teacher if I need the black girl to love herself as she is and she looking up at you with a blonde weave? Is that not a contradiction? Before I teach the black woman anything, I got to teach her to love herself. See, the white man has weaponized beauty against our sisters. And the white man has weaponized employment against our brothers. It is the black man's inability to earn. And it is the black woman's insecurity of appearance that are the primary weapons used in this country and around the world when it comes to black people. I don't care where I go at in the world, and I've been everywhere except Australia. There's 4 things I'm gonna see. If I'm in Paris, France, if I'm in Austria, if I'm in London, if I'm in South America, if I'm in Jamaica, if I'm in St. Thomas, St. Croix, Bahamas, Bermuda, wherever I've been, Canada, China, Japan, there's 4 things where black people are. And I need you to know this because sometimes we can think we're so unique in the world. Because you fail to understand that what racism does to any black group, they do it to all black groups. Number 1, black women strung out on beauty products. I don't care where you go in the world, the black woman is overspending her disposable income to improve her self-concept of European beauty. I don't care where you go in the world, black men are over-incarcerated because they can't find livable wage jobs. I don't care where you go, any black community on earth, I don't care if they speak Spanish, English, Portuguese, Zulu, Igbo. No matter where you go in the world, Jesus is still white. And you know what's funny? Or not so funny? The blacker the country, the whiter the Jesus. When did we get that painting that's so famous? The most famous version of the white Christ was Leonardo da Vinci, 1482. We're 500 years later, and the white Jesus is still the most popular picture in the black community. I go into homes and do therapy. And when I go into homes and do therapy, I'm always looking for the bookshelf. And you know what I find, Baltimore? And I've been in a lot of your homes too, just like Philly, just like New York, just like everywhere. I can count on one hand the amount of black homes I've been in that had a bookshelf. There's a laptop, there's tablets, there's cell phone, there's perm juice, there's Air Jordans, there's blunt wrappers, there's an HD TV, no books, but guess what's on the wall? White Jesus. Why is the white image of Christ so dangerous? We know Christ was an African. Christ was blue, black, purple. And if you don't believe me, go to Egypt, go to the British Museum, go to New York City, take a trip to the Vatican in Rome, and ask to see the statues of Jesus in the basement of the Vatican. And Jesus looks like you. Not Barack Obama, like you. Okay? Jesus Christ didn't look like an Arab. He looked like an African. In the oldest picture, I have a copy of him and the 12 disciples. Everybody's blue, black, purple, and nappy. So we know what color Jesus was. So why are black people so comfortable worshiping our deity in an image that resembles the enemy? Nobody else does that. In China, Jesus looks Chinese. I've been there. In Japan, Jesus looks Japanese. I've been there. But when I come to the black community, Jesus looks like the president. And the reason you're comfortable with your deity being represented by your enemy is because you are one and the same psychologically with your oppressor. We have internalized the racism. And until we admit we have internalized the racism, we will never fix this problem. Because we keep talking about the enemy outside of us, the enemy outside of me, the enemy outside of you. But I'm here to tell you right now, you can destroy racism in America all day long. But if the cracker that's renting space in your mind is not done away with, he will just come back and reinvent himself through us. It's the internal white man that's our problem. It's the internal white woman that's our problem. Every black woman has a white girl inside of her. Every black man has a white boy inside of him. And until you admit that you have this spiritual cancer, you will never ever redeem yourself. And I'm here to tell you tonight, Baltimore, that one of the things we have to do as a people, and Pastor would agree, we have to reconnect, reassemble, remerge the color of our skin as an aspect of our divinity. I need you to hear me really well. And a lot of you are not going to understand it. It's going to go over your head because most of us have been raised on a steady diet of colorblind multiculturalism. Black people are the only colorblind people in the state of Maryland. The Chinese in Maryland are not colorblind. The East Indians in Maryland are not colorblind. The European Jews in Maryland are not colorblind. The Irish, the Italians, the Chinese, the only group in this country that practices multiculturalism is the American Negro. And the reason you are so multicultural has nothing to do with God, nothing to do with Christ. It's a self-hate thing that has you begging and wishing for approval from other races. You want to be validated. You want to be appreciated. You want to be needed. You want to belong. And you are willing to let your children be miseducated for it. You are willing to let your men be mass incarcerated for it. You are willing to let your black single mothers struggle and die raising all them kids on their own just so you can get a seat at your slave master's table. Until you kill the need to be approved of by white folks, don't you call yourself a devotee of Christ. Because if you need the white man's validation in order to feel whole, then the white man just became your God, not Christ. Listen, I am not a black supremacist. I do not teach that we are better than anybody. I have no need for a little white girl to believe she's less attractive than my black daughter. I have no need for a little Chinese boy to think he's inferior to our black sons. I have no need for that. But I do believe in the truth. And when I study spiritual history, I can't help but notice every prophet that God sent to this planet. Every single one, including Buddha, including Krishna, every single prophet looked like me. So if I am not in some way a reflection of divine cosmic power, then who else could be? Brothers and sisters, the color of your skin is not a color. It is a chemical. And that chemical, that melanin that gives our skin the beautiful assortment of browns and golds that we have. This chemical is a God chemical. It is because you are melanated that you are able to experience spiritual ecstasies that no other group could even dream of. Stop taking your blackness out of your religion. Stop taking your blackness out of your spirituality. Stop taking your blackness out of your relationship with God. Do you not know when you don't give expression to the cosmic color of your skin? When you don't give expression to the cosmic color of your skin, when you don't say, I love being black. When you don't say, I appreciate the way God made me. When you don't say, no mistake was made when I was brought forth. If you can't say that, you're suppressing the active intelligence of divine design. Part of our solution as a race is we have to restore blackness to its proper place in the divine order. Isn't it funny? They tell us black is ugly, but every time you go to court, the judge got on a black robe. Isn't it funny? They tell you black is ugly, but when you graduate from high school, you got on a black robe. When you get your PhD, you got on a black robe. When you come to church, he has on a black robe. If black is so ugly, why are the most prestigious men in the world always draped in black before they come before the people? Blackness is divine. And until you stop cutting yourself off from your color, God will continue to cut himself off from us. You think it's a coincidence we on the bottom? You think it's a coincidence we on the bottom? Let me explain something to you, my Maryland family. We always talk about one God. and there is only one God. But guess what? If it is above as it is below, if it shall be below as it is above, if God is one, and God made us, and God made us first, if the purpose of life is to establish heaven on earth, if there's one God in heaven, all black people must become one to activate God consciousness on earth. The point that I'm making, the reason Baltimore suffers, and New York suffers, and Dallas suffers, and Oakland suffers, and Minneapolis and Memphis suffers, is because we don't operate as one yet. Until we achieve oneness. See, we love talking about one God, but when are we going to operate in oneness? When are we going to function in oneness? When are we going to unite in oneness? Many of you played sports as a child. All of you have belonged to an organization before. Have you ever noticed that if you belong to a church and you've been praying by yourself, when you link up with the rest of the congregation and everybody establishes oneness and y'all pray as a one, there's a different energy in that prayer. If you play football, when you get in the locker room with your team and y'all start chanting and getting hyped for the game, it's a different energy. For those of you who belong to the Divine Nine, Black Greek fraternities and sororities, some of you join white ones because you hate yourself, but you know when it's time for the step show and all your Delta sisters walk in, all your AKA sisters walk in, all your SG Rose sisters walk in, all your Z5B sisters walk in, your Q brothers come in, your Kappa brothers come in, your Alpha and Sigma and Iota brothers come. When y'all come together as one and put all your petty stuff to the side and say, for this step show, for this conference, for this fundraiser, for this building fund, we're going to put all our differences to the side and operate as a single unit. There's a divine power that takes over. So if God can do that for a football team, if God can do that for a single church, if God can do that for your sorority or fraternity, imagine what God will do when all of Black Maryland decides to stand together as a single unit. Oneness is the goal. Some of y'all losing faith in the Most High God. I say, I've been praying, Doc. God ain't answered me yet. I've been on my knees every night, Dr. Umar. If there's a God, why God ain't answered me? Well, there's three answers to that. Answer number one, God never responds to a dishonest petition. Some of us are asking for things we have no business wanting in the first place. Number two, God doesn't respond to the selfish. If you've done nothing for nobody lately, why would the Creator do something for you? As above, so below. And the third reason many of our prayers never reach the gates of the Most High is because Black people, as much as we want to be free, as poorly as we have been treated, guess what? We still haven't learned that the white man's way ain't the right way. Some of you want to be free to imitate the white man. Some of you want to be free to become a Black capitalist instead of a white capitalist. In other words, God is not going to put us back on the throne as his original children. God will not put Black people back on the throne as his original children until you stop imitating your oppressor. Until you reclaim your God-given African divinity. As long as you want to imitate a defunct European capitalism, stop praying because you're wasting your time. You will never get that blessing until you decide to live and establish righteousness. See, we don't like to talk about righteousness, but God expects righteousness from black people. And until God gets righteousness, I don't care what your religion is, Muslim, Christian, Hebrew, Jehovah's Witness, African traditionalism, Catholic, I don't care what path you take. Understand, you will not reach the goal unless you walk a path of righteousness. Yeah, we sin, but get back up and do it right the next time. You so used to cheating and sneaking that you think you can cheat and sneak the Lord. It ain't gonna work that way, brothers and sisters. Do it right or don't do it at all. Let's talk about this miseducation machine. Parents, listen to me. ADHD is a scam. ADHD is a fraud. ADHD is a Wall Street drug hustle. We get attention deficit disorder in 1980. The American Psychiatric Association was paid by the drug companies to create something that don't even exist. Attention deficit disorder. 7 years later, in 1987, they added the holy H, and ADD became ADHD. Why did they add the H? Because there's no drug that can make your child pay attention. There's no drug that can make your child pay attention. Ritalin can't make them pay attention. Adderall can't make them pay attention. Metadate can't make them pay attention. Concerta can't make them pay attention. So the drug companies were losing money on the ADD. The only thing the drugs can do is slow down the brain. So they said, we're going to have to make all the kids hyperactive, even if they're not, to justify medication. And why did they give us ADD in 1980? Because that's the same year the CIA dropped off crack cocaine in the black community. They started drugging the children and drugging the adults the same year. And I'm going to tell you a little secret, Baltimore County, but you're not going to listen. Because I've learned black parents don't listen to black psychologists unless you can find a white one to say the same thing. You know how many black parents I told to do things a certain way, but because the white folks said do it another way, they went with the white folks. And then they come back to me later. Dr. Umar, will you help me now? No, I won't. Because I already told you what to do, but you took them over me, so stay with them. Listen, if you don't plan on medicating your child, there's no reason to get an ADHD evaluation. Let me say it again. If you don't plan on giving your child Ritalin, which is synthesized cocaine, if you don't plan on giving your child Concerta, which is synthesized cocaine, if you don't plan on giving your child Metadate, synthesized cocaine, then why get him evaluated in the first place? Let me tell you what's going to happen if you get your child evaluated. The evaluation is the hook that forces the dope. Let me say it again. The evaluation is the hook that forces the dope. See, before you let your son get tested at We Hate Black People Charter School, Baltimore, Maryland, We Hate Black Boys Middle School, Baltimore, Maryland, We Can't Stand Black Girls High School, Baltimore, Maryland. Before you got him tested, the school couldn't force no dope. But the minute you go to the psychiatrist, psychologist, and get him diagnosed, now he has a psychiatric illness. And although you can't see ADHD, can't smell ADHD, ain't no blood test for ADHD, ain't no urine sample for ADHD, ain't no x-ray for ADHD, ain't no MRI for ADHD. Even though you can't see it, touch it, take a picture of it, smell it, or weigh it. They will treat it like a real disease. And when you tell the teacher, I'm not putting my son on that medicine because I saw what it did to my other child, they're going to call Baltimore County Child Protective Services. And Child Protective Services is going to send a social worker out to your house. And you're going to start saying, I should have listened to Dr. Umar when he was at Empowerment Temple. Because guess what they're going to tell you? You are going to give that child medication. And you're going to give them the dosage that the doctor prescribed. And if we find out that you're withholding the medication, we're going to come back and charge you with medical neglect. And when you get charged with medical neglect, Black Maryland parents, they don't just take Raheem out your house. They take all your children out your house. So you had 4 babies. Now you have 0. Because you let Raheem get tested when Dr. Umar said don't do it. And once he get tested, they can now force the meds because he has a quote-unquote invisible illness. And then when you don't medicate, they can confiscate the kids. When you don't medicate, they can confiscate the kids. And guess who they're going to send all your black children to? The white rainbow community. No disrespect. Your identity is your business. But guess what? Most of us would rather not raise our children that way. But when you don't give them the ADHD medication, they're going to take your children and send them to a white rainbow family. You don't believe me? Go do your research. What group of people is most likely to end up with young foster children? White homosexuals and lesbians. Go do the research. They're the ones raising our children. I just read an article last week. A rainbow couple was foster parenting 2 or 3 black kids. They sexually abused them. I'm not going to say everybody would do this, but it happened. They sexually abused both black boys, and then they sold them out to be raped by others. This was last week's news. And black people, before you start oohing and eyeing and acting like you care about black kids so much, if we love our own so much, can somebody tell me why black people have the lowest intra-rate foster care placement percentage? Do you know we're the least likely to foster our own black kids? And you wonder why they on the streets killing each other? How they going to show love when they ain't never felt love? Do you remember when you was a child, for those of you over 40? Remember if Mike's mom was out on the corner turning tricks, or if John's dad got locked up for selling bricks, your mama, your grandmama, somebody would go get the kids out the house. They didn't call DHS. They didn't call the social worker. They didn't call the police. They said, get your school books, get your clothes. I don't know where your mother at. I don't know when she coming back. I don't know where your father at. I don't know when he coming back. But I want you to know something right now. Until they come back, and if they never come back, you are part of my family now. How many of us was raised by black parents who refused to give up on children that they did not birth themselves? You know how many of us made it through life because another family cared? The school never knew. Your parents was nowhere around. When report card conferences came, Miss Nana stood in. When the school trip came up, Mr. Johnny paid for that school trip. And the white folks was like, when are we going to see their parents? They're working. We got this. And the next thing you know, you done graduated and nobody knew that you was without your biologicals for most of your life. When are we going to get back to the village, Black Baltimore? I know one thing. Children don't kill people who care about them. Children kill strangers. When I'm training teachers in the school, you know, the white teachers and some of the black coonish teachers. Most black teachers are wonderful, but some of them are some damn coons. And they say, Dr. Umar, what am I supposed to do? He's cursing me out. He's throwing the desk. Have you ever had a face-to-face, one-on-one meeting with that young man? But I don't really have time. I didn't ask you if you had time. You're complaining about how uncontrolled he is. Have you ever sat him down and had a respectable dialogue for 5 minutes? Did you ever make a connection with that boy? That's why it's so easy for him to disrespect you. That's why it's so easy for him to destroy your classroom, because there's no connection for respect. Let me tell you a little secret. If you take out 5 minutes of your day, sit down with that young man, give him an apple, give him a banana, and laugh and joke, ask him about his life, his home, tell him how much you believe in him, he may never get suspended another day in your class. But you know what the problem with public school in Baltimore is? Public school teachers think they're college professors now. What do I mean when I say public school teachers think they're college professors? For those of you who teach college, you understand that you're not expected to have a relationship with your college students. You're not expected to care personally about your college students. You're not expected to ask them about their home life. It's a business relationship. You pay for a class, I teach. If you don't like the way I teach, that's too bad. If you don't like how low my voice is, that's too bad. If I'm moving too quickly through the syllabus, that's too bad. But grade school is not supposed to be that way. In grade school, the teacher is supposed to cater to the needs of the child. They don't do that no more because they don't care about the black children. And guess what? Our black parents aren't too much different yourselves. See, black children don't drop out of school until black parents stop dropping into school. Show me a black kid who dropped out, I'll show you a black parent who never dropped in. If a black child got a good teacher and a horrible parent, he will still make it. If you got a good parent and a horrible teacher, you will still make it. If you have a great parent and a great teacher, you will make it. But if you have a horrible teacher and a disconcerted parent, you guaranteed to fail. And that's what's wrong with so many black children. We got teachers who don't care and parents who couldn't care less. And that's why if I was in charge of education, I wish I could be U.S. Secretary of Education for 1 year. Joe Biden, you crazy old geezer, give me the Secretariat of Education for 1 year. Let me tell you what I would do, y'all, if I was in charge. Because the white folks down the street in D.C., they keep acting like they don't know how to fix this. So let me tell you how they can change the whole thing in a year. First thing I'm going to do, the percentage of black teachers in a school will be identical to or greater than the percentage of black children in the school. No school in America will you have mostly black kids and mostly white teachers. Hell no. And then some of y'all saying, well, what color got the, see, you still cooning. What color? What color? If a teacher can teach, a teacher can teach. Let me explode that myth on 3 grounds. Let's go to the research. Because y'all don't listen to me, but y'all will listen to some white research. According to the white research, teachers pay more attention to children who look like their own. So if teachers pay more attention to the children who look like their own, if your son and daughter don't look like Steph Curry, they might not get no attention. No disrespect to my light-skinned Africans, we one family. I'm just saying that how when white folks are involved, there's a color hierarchy at play. And the reason why a lot of the black boys are struggling is because their skin is too dark and their hair is too nappy. You don't believe me? Walk into any school in Baltimore that offers a mentally gifted program. I want you to go look at the color of the mentally gifted students. Then I want you to go down the hall to the emotionally disturbed class. Look at the color of the students in the emotionally disturbed class. I've never been to a school in my life where the emotionally disturbed students weren't at least 5 shades darker than the mentally gifted students. Teachers care about black kids who look like white kids. And sometimes they don't even get the love. Number 2, the most predictive factor on a child's success in school is not poverty, is not their parents being married, is not whether they qualify for free or reduced lunch, is not how much money the school gets or the teacher's salary. The number 1 factor that influences academic achievement is how much does the teacher believe in the children. Did y'all hear what I just said? Teacher belief will manifest itself in the classroom. You wonder why black kids is failing, because you got white people in charge. And I'm not going to beat up on the white women. I'm not going to disrespect the snow bunnies. And I'm going to get to you Negroes who like dating snow bunnies in a minute. I'm going to get to you in 1 minute. See, I'm trying to understand. With all the problems that black Baltimore got, we got police brutality. Rest in peace to Freddie Gray. We got unemployed black folks. We got poverty in Baltimore. We got gentrification in Baltimore. We got economic apartheid in Baltimore. And with all these problems we fighting racism through, you Negroes still found time in the middle of a war to go snow bunny shopping. How in the hell, with all our kids being miseducated, how in the hell all these black boys with no daddy, how all these single mothers raising multiple kids, how does the black man find time to go snow bunny shopping? And the reason you want the white woman is because your low self-esteem, your racial self-hatred, your animosity towards your mother's womb has forced you to seek approval from the very woman who was responsible for our women being beat, raped, and sold off on the plantation. And some of you coons think that the white woman who sleeps with the black man is less racist than the white women who don't. There is no difference between a jungle fever snow bunny or an all Caucasoid snow bunny. They all racist. And you know what really upsets me when I see a brother with a bunny? When I'm walking through the airport and I see a brother with a bunny, if there's a black woman walking anywhere near him and his European queen, right? Have you sisters noticed? He will go out of his way to ignore your existence. Black women, have you seen this? He won't even look in the direction of the woman who gave him his life. I see it all day long. He got to prove to this white woman that she's the greatest thing on earth until you end up like Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods' snow bunny was a house servant. She's a billionaire now because he went and got him some African cookies. And because he went home to Africa, he lost half of his money. Look at Bill Cosby, my North Philadelphia elder. Shame. He thought because he was so rich and famous, he can do what white rich and famous men can do. He started sampling cookies all over the city. Irish cookies, Italian cookies. And then Bill Cosby all of a sudden decides he wants to buy a major network. And they say, we can't have that. Call up them white girls. And then the second largest oil company in the world found out Bill Cosby had oil under his Massachusetts home. And they said, Bill and Camille, can we drill? They said, no. And then Bill and Camille organized all the homeowners, black and white, in their community. Don't let them drill. And the white man said, I got to get this oil. Cosby won't give me the oil. So they went and found all the snow bunnies. And they had a snow bunny conference on Bill Cosby. And they said, all you nasty, crusty, wrinkly bunnies are going to publicly say he attacked and assaulted you. I don't care what you say, and I don't trivialize violence against women because black women are the worst victims of it. I want to be clear, but you're not going to convince me. Bill Cosby, the #1 television personality, black, in the world at the time, sexually assaults you, sexually harasses you, sexually offends you. He's the #1 television star in the country, the first black man to have his own miniseries on TV, paved the way for the greatest comedian of all time.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are super great, you are super fine from wherever you're watching me from. As you know, these are presenting Genius Stories, and there's something that I want us to have a discussion about, something really important. Now, Dr. Umar Ifatundi's core argument begins with historical truth. Black people were never meant to be equal citizens within the Western project. From the very inception to be equal citizens, from the very inception of the transatlantic slave trade to the writing of constitutions across the America, black people were commodified, dehumanized, and excluded. The founding documents of the United States were written by enslavers for the benefit of white land-owning men. No institution born from this soil was ever meant to serve black liberation. This truth is essential to understand Dr. Umar's frustration. Black people keep appealing to the systems that were constructed to exclude them from the beginning. Right. Now, he talks about the education system. For example, is a major focus of Dr. Umar's critique. And he often states that public schools is designed not to empower, but to pacify black youth. He believes the mislabeling of black children as having learning disabilities or being emotionally disturbed, which is a form of institutional control. These labels push back children into special education unnecessarily, funneling or channeling them out of academic opportunity into carceral trajectories. This, he argues, is part of school to prison pipeline, a deliberate structure that criminalizes black potential at the early age. Instead of nurturing brilliance, the system punishes the difference. And that's how it was built not to work for black people. Now, when you get to look at economically, Dr. Umar asserts that black people operate within a framework of dependency. Black labor has always been exploited from the chattel slavery to wage suppression in the modern economy. Yet the structures of capitalism, he argues, continues to exclude black people from true wealth accumulation. Predatory lending, redlining, lack of access to capital, and discriminatory hiring practices all work in tandem to keep black communities economically fragile. And while many strive for integration, Umar cautions that integration without power leads to assimilation and subjugation. Real freedom requires ownership, that is, land, institution, industry. That's according to Umar. And I agree with him because when you get to look at what Dr. Cloud Anderson says, what Dr. George Fraser also says, these are black authors, black activists who talks about black things. You understand that they are all saying things in the same line. Integration itself is not important. Black people need to integrate economically, socially, then politically. That's how they're gonna fight the system that was put there to discourage them from all the things that are happening today. I'm also gonna be talking about one of the most powerful critiques that is that of political system. It frequently challenges the blind loyalty man many black people show towards political parties, especially the Democratic Party. He argues that black voters are often treated as the voting bloc rather than political force with leverage. Year after year, promises are made, but policies rarely change the material condition of black community. Dr. Umar urges political sophistication, organize, withhold votes if necessary, and demand tangibles, not symbolism. The current system is designed to absorb black rage, offer tokenism, and avoid systemic redistribution of power. That's how it's working. Also, Dr. Umar also targets criminal justice system as a mechanism of racial control. Look, from policing to sentencing to incarceration, every aspect disproportionately affects black people. It reminds us that the 13th Amendment of the US Constitution abolished slavery except as punished for a crime. The loophole gave birth to the modern prison industrial complex, which still profits from black suffering. Mass incarceration is not a side effect of system, it is the system. The law is weaponized not to protect black people, but to police, exploit, and neutralize them with the racist structural oppression. Also talking about the psychological impact of systemic racism is another pillar in which Dr. Mar talks about so much. And he often speaks of post-traumatic slave syndrome and the lingering mental effects of centuries of dehumanization. From colorism to self-hate, the psychic wounds are deep and often go untreated. Instead of healing through cultural grounded mental health practices, many black people are fed Eurocentric models that pathologize their pain without acknowledging its roots. Dr. Umar emphasizes the need for cultural competent therapy, rooted in African spirituality and communal tradition, not white psychological framework that ignore systemic trauma. That's crazy because systemic trauma goes on because you'll get to realize that Dr. Umar Johnson talks about the self-hate within the black community, and I agree with him because most of the time we black people don't even support our own selves. We see products that belongs to the community are better, services to the community are better than ours, and many cases of black people killing themselves is also prevalent. And so these are the things that Dr. Umar Johnson talks about that I feel it's important if we get to listen and have a discussion about them because they really matter. I'm also going to be talking about religion. Religion too is not left out. Religion too comes under the Umar scrutiny. It does not reject spirituality, but it challenges how black people have been taught to use religion as a form of escapism. He urges that the slave masters' Christianity taught submission, obedience, and forgiveness in the face of oppression. It disconnected black people from African cosmology and history. While churches have played crucial roles in black organizing, Umar warns that too often religion is used to pacify the masses rather than empower politically. Instead of fighting injustice, many are taught to wait on God, which neutralizes agency and action. Now, also, cultural identity is key to Dr. Umar's message. He sees cultural disconnection as a weapon of oppression. Black people who do not know their history, he urges, are more vulnerable to manipulation, assimilation, and exploitation. That's why he places a premium on African centered education. If a child grows up never learning about African civilization, revolutions, scientists, and heroes, they will internalize inferiority. Western education teaches black children that their story begins with slavery. Umar insists that liberation begins when black people reclaim their narrative, from Kemet to Mali, from Haiti to Harlem. These are the things that I've been trying to talk to you through this channel. Because look, when a child grows in a community where they're taught how they are inferior and their counterparts are superior, that's what they go on teaching their kids. So seeing yourself, there's nothing great about you. This creates what is called self-hate, right? You're not preferring who you are. We have people that bleach their skin because preferentially they feel like theirs is not commendable, and the other one is so much preferable or looks good to them. So amongst other self-hate forms that black people go through, that's one of them. One of the most urgent issues that Dr. Umar raises is also failure of black people to build and control their own institutions. He argues that no ethnic group in America has risen without establishing its own schools, banks, and hospitals and media. Every time black people attempt this, they are sabotaged by the system or by internalized self-doubt. He warns that integration has lured the black community into a dangerous dependency on white institutions. Instead of begging inclusion, black people must prioritize self-determination. Freedom is not guaranteed. It is seized through unity, discipline, and sacrifice. Right? And finally, Dr. Umar insists that the liberation of black people cannot be outsourced. No politician, celebrity, or preacher will save us. Only organized, conscious, and unapologetic black people can transform their condition. This requires a new generation of leaders, thinkers, and builders who understand that the current system is not broken. It's working exactly as designed. The only way forward is not to reform, but revolution of the mind, spirit, and institutions. As long as black people keep hoping that the same structures that enslaved them and exploit them will one day treat them fairly, they will remain in a circle of frustration. Real liberation starts when we stop expecting justice from an unjust system and build our own instead. These are presented into stories. I'm hoping that this video was educational to you. For those watching us for the first time, again, I'll remind you and ask you to subscribe to my channel, join my membership, and really get so we can offer you. For those who are supporting me through my Cash App, through my Super Thanks, I highly appreciate the support. But until then, I'm hoping to see you in my next video. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.